All right, everybody. I'm very pleased to welcome Bobby Burrelli back to the Jeff Macolino podcast. How are you, Bobby?
I'm amazing. Thank you so much for having me on. I was really excited. It's an exciting time, so I was excited to get back on.
Yeah, you've got some exciting stuff brewing. I just in case you notice, you can't really tell, I don't think, looking at my image. I, of course, today or last night, I get alerted. So I'm not even drinking during this podcast like I normally would be. I was really looking forward to getting to start drinking early this afternoon. But just last night, I got a late live audition request for a movie in LA. And of course, it's a scene where I have to be crying,
Hmm.
which that's a rough audition scene in my humble opinion. I understand why, you want to make sure the person can do it. But I was just practicing, so it's like getting I'm not crying because of the podcast. I I I I might shed a tear or two because I have to be sober all day.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay, I get it now. I get it. I figured that maybe it was allergies or something. That's why. Because I've been dealing with that lately. It's been a pain in the butt, but so
No, allergies would be so much more fun because,
yeah, I feel you
no,
could always just drink those away, right?
exactly. It dries you up. I mean, it is the only time I ever have sinus problems or anything is when I have my kids and I don't want to drink. But whiskey, man, it just dries everything inside of this head up.
Well, I could be wrong, but not meaning to get off track. But I think alcohol, to a degree, if it's drank, if you don't drink it, too much of it can actually have beneficial effects. It actually helps with blood flow, so that could be why it mitigates the effects of the allergies when you have a drink.
Yeah, I I didn't end up doing this. I it was still always in the back of my mind. I'm one of those people who has a whole like alcohol cures everything. Just I almost started a series of just like shorts like where it's like Dr. Jeff, I stubbed my toe. What do I do? Well, here you go. Drink.
Get it back, baby.
My nose. I've got nasal congestion. What do I do? Take a drink.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, there's a little bit of truth to that.
Yeah.
So.
My wife left me. What do I do? Take a drink.
Oh gosh, that might not help, but I know what you mean. That's
Temporarily.
temporarily, yeah, not long term.
No, no, I don't think so. No, I never drink for emotional reasons. That's my sage advice I give young alcoholics.
That is actually really good advice.
Yeah, drink because you want to get drunk. Cool. But don't drink
Yeah,
because you're happy or sad because you don't want to tie emotion into alcohol. It's
right.
a beautiful thing. You don't want to poison it with
I would agree with that.
yeah. There is some sad logic to that. Um, so Bobby, last time I talked to you about Cubestream,
Hmm.
and also I think last time we talked was right after Dirty Roomies season 2 came out.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yep, yep.
So you've got some exciting stuff with season 3 going on, and I'm sure
Yeah,
you've got some stuff with Cubestream going on. So you tell me what's going on in Bobby's world.
yeah, yeah. It's. I don't even know where to begin, to be honest, which is great. That's a good thing. So I'll try to get it all in this limited time that we have. It is a very exciting time right now. So it's all coming together essentially. So for those of the viewers that don't know who I am, I'm a producer, director, actor, filmmaker for Cubestream. It is a right now it's just a website. It's a streaming platform that allows filmmakers to upload their shows, docs, films, and charge whatever they want and keep the majority of what they make. Now it's way more than that. It's also an ecosystem. There's a social media feature on there. It allows you to reach out to other people in the industry that have an account directly and really just you know, do whatever you want. It's a community. You know what I mean? If I saw Jeff in a movie on CubeStream and I'm a director and I really liked his look and I think I could really use him, I could reach out to I could DM you on CubeStream on your CubeStream social media profile account.
Hmm.
And I could be like, yo, you got a great look. I'd love to have maybe a Zoom read with you. Maybe we can move forward. I think I might want to cast you possibly. So it's like an ecosystem. There'll be services on there. Eventually, we'd like to, pay residuals to actors, put the feature in there so that, we can legally um, help um, productions pay their crew and their cast with residuals, just like, Hollywood always has,
Yeah.
right through the platform. So that's good. So, but anyway, but that's Cubestream. So right now it's in the process though of becoming an app. So, you said, season two came out, season one, season two came out. It did, and you can watch it. It's on cubestream.com, but we haven't started advertising it yet because until it becomes an app, until it is readily available to everybody, right on your phone, on your computer, on your smart TV, we're not going to start really. I'm not going to really advertise anything. I Nobody uses websites anymore, right?
Right.
It's we live in an app-based world, so it is one of the great pieces of news I wanted to share is that we have officially started the process of building this thing as an app. Cubestream is becoming an app right now. Um, if all goes well, it'll be done by this year. I'm hoping by the summer at the very latest. And so that's getting done. Once it's an app, I can start actually really advertising everything I've done. I can throw stuff up on all sorts of different ways of advertising. So that's that. That's what's going on with Cubestream. We're restructuring the company. We got a bunch of investors. It's just so exciting. It's so exciting what's going on without getting into too much detail. What else can I say? So yeah, that's Cubestream. Now, my show, which is a Cubestream original, and I believe in Cubestream so much that I chose to make it a Cubestream original because I want to help build Cubestream. It's the first Cubestream original ever, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
The owner is one of my best friends. I met him 9 years ago, and he told me about this a long time ago, and I said I want in. So that's basically how I got in with Cubestream, and I've been filmmaking for a long time, almost 10 years now. So. Um, as far as the show goes, Dirty Roomies, we have started production on Dirty Roomies. Well, I should say pre-production on episode one, season three. We are blessed to have a very prominent, very well-known Brazilian actress come on and be the female lead in season three. So the immigration fees, cost will be hefty because of getting her artistic work visa, making it legal, and all that sort of thing. So I started a GoFundMe. To pay for her immigration costs and to help pay for episode one, which we are raising the bar. This is going to go from 11-minute episodes to episode one, season three. I just finished writing the script. Is a 48-page episode. So
Oh
we're
wow.
in the big yeah, we're in the big leagues now. We're gonna have the funds very soon to be able to do whatever we want when we want. So I was like, screw it. I am gonna go all out, full, TBS kind of network-esque, streaming platform-esque format, And I had a story in my mind about how we introduce this girl. Her name is Pri in real life. How we introduce her, and I just went with it, and it ended up coming out to 48 pages. And so I started a GoFundMe. The link is on my Instagram, TikTok, or I can send people the link. And we're starting at $25,000. We think $25,000 should be sufficient to get through most of episode one. Once episode one is done, we're going to advertise it all over Brazil. I mean, everyone in her base is going to watch it. That's going to help us bring in revenue. And then, of course, by that point, Cubestream will be an app, and we can advertise everywhere in the U.S. So we're going to have money coming in the U.S. market, the Brazilian market. Season one, two, of course, are done. We'll advertise that everywhere. And episode one, season three, with this actress Pri, will be available. We'll advertise that everywhere too. So, God is good. The universe is good. We've already gotten a bunch of donations. I started this thing last week. We're already doing very well. Made some good money, and the sky's the limit, which is why I was so excited to get on here. And you have a nice little base for subscribers on YouTube. I was impressed by that. So I said to myself, this could be a great opportunity for both of us to get the word out and to help get this thing funded. So that's what's going on, really.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's
Yeah.
exciting. All of it. Yeah, it's 48 minutes. That's I mean, that's very close to being movie length.
Well, yeah, I know. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, costs and everything they start to rise.
Hey, dude, we're keeping it basic. I mean, so the first scene we're gonna shoot with this actress Pri, is going to be a big party scene. And we're really just focusing on that. We're going to shoot that later on this year. It's going to be a massive party scene, which I would like to cast you as the bartender at the party. I need a bartender. You have like 5 lines, 5, 6 lines. And you'll basically be greeting me. You're my friend. You're kind of like the bartender that I met once years ago. And you tell me about this party that you're hired to bartend at, like a big house party for one of the biggest local producers in Florida. And you're there, right? And so, you were great to work with, just a great dude, great energy, really nice, really fun. And even though what you did in that restaurant episode in season 2 was, kind of like a featured extra, you didn't have any lines. You just really added to it. You know what I mean? You really added to it. You were shaking the tin. You were making drinks, and you really added to it and really made it look like a real bar, which it was a real bar. But you know what I mean? You really made it real. So I like that. So yeah, I'd love to bring it back. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's my specialty. The two roles I seem to play are bartenders, which, I know my way around a bar. I mean,
yeah, I love it.
yeah,
I love it.
yeah, and suicidal alcoholics. If I get this part I was just telling you about, that apparently is the other thing. Hey, it's a world I know.
I might need that. I might need that at some point, brother. So yeah.
Yeah. No, it's I'll be happy to join you. I love the maybe it's interesting. I don't know whether it's that once I entered into the world, I started realizing how much is filmed around this Tampa Bay area.
Yeah.
Or if it just, to me, I'm always like, man, there's more and more stuff going on. And I'm like, maybe it's just I keep getting deeper into the rabbit hole. So, of course, I just know more now.
Right. Well, I got to say really quick. So, I came from Los Angeles. I mean, I'm from Boston, but I lived in LA, on and off really almost 6 years, really. And I, it's funny, I never thought I'd move to Florida, but, with everything that had been going on in the world 5 years ago, I couldn't
Yeah.
really live in LA anymore. And I needed a better economy, you know. So I heard about Florida, Texas, Tennessee, and Florida. So I picked Florida, and I came here, man, 3.5 years ago now, almost. And brother, I tell you, man, it's so inspiring. The small yet incredibly dedicated and hardworking actor slash filmmaker community here in the Tampa, Orlando area. I'm sure Miami has that too. I've only cast, I think, a few people out of Miami, but Tampa and Orlando is mostly what I'm working with as far as who I've cast and who I'm working with. And man, you guys work hard. You're dedicated. There's no divas. There's no egos. Everybody's so kind. Everybody's so excited to be on set. They work hard. They show up. I probably hired behind and in front of the camera almost 100 people, maybe 100 people. I have like 80 contracts in my cabinet. And I think only one person over the span of 2 years of production for this show up to now has called out, and everyone
Wow.
else showed up. Everyone showed up, and I paid everybody, but I wish I could have paid everybody more, and I will be. There'll be way more money to make in the future when the budgets expand, but I paid everybody what I could, and everybody was so thankful. They were like, "Wow, well, nobody pays, really." I'm like, "Really?" I was paying extras $100 a day, and I was paying my principal 150 a day, and they were like, oh, man, thank you so much. I'm like, really? Wow, I don't even think this is that good. I'm just doing what I can, you know? They were like, man, you're feeding us, you're paying us something. We really appreciate it. And everyone was so gracious. It's so different than Los Angeles, and it has made my job so much easier. And so I'm just really thankful for that. And which is why I am producing season 3 here in Florida. I'm just gonna stay here and bang it out. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm
Yeah.
doing. Yeah.
Well, I love that. Yeah, no, it is crazy. I was talking to one of the actors I had. So I filmed a feature this past November
Okay.
that
Cool.
I
Nice.
executive produced. So
That's awesome. Wow, I didn't even know that. Good for you.
yeah, so I start in it, and I'm the executive producer. It will probably be coming out sometime around probably a local premiere in May.
I want to
Uh,
go. I
yeah,
want to go.
yeah. I'll send you the details when we have it scheduled, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, but it was, I was talking to one of the guys. So the way I kept the budget kind of light, and this is the reason that this was the movie that we filmed, because I had a bunch of ideas, but it was like, this is the movie that if I'm paying for it, this is going to be the cheapest and easiest movie. Because a lot of it is takes place inside of a car, so that really helps as far as location and stuff like that. Um, it's me and one other actor are the only people who are honestly more than a day player in the entire film. Everyone else was 2 hours, or some people were like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Um, and but nobody else was more than like a half day on set. So that was a good way to keep it down. And it's like, I'm paying these guys for a half day and, not a ton of money. And it's like, yeah, but, it's that was the feedback I got. Like, you paid, so we didn't lose money going to set, and we get to be in a movie. Like,
Right.
that's I had a couple friends who even did a scene where they didn't even have a line. I just needed people in the back seat of the car because I'm a
Right.
rideshare driver in this
Sure.
movie, and I think I paid them $25 each. They were literally in the car for 5 minutes and left. uh,
25 bucks for 5 minutes. Hey, that's not bad.
yeah, and they're like, you don't have to pay us, and I'm like, no, I paid everyone else except for my kids. My kids are in the movie. I did not pay them,
I
but
mean,
I mean,
you do a lot. You do a lot for your kids. So,
yeah, I pay them by giving them a roof over there.
yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
And actually, now that I say that, I did not pay my parents either, who also have a brief cameo in the movie. But
That's
I mean, we'll take care of all that stuff if the movie makes money.
right, right, right.
Fan,
Sure.
blood relatives get deferred pay.
Of course, of course. The most points on the back end. Absolutely.
Yeah, but that is another thing. It's and I probably shouldn't even say this on the podcast because I mean, they sign the contract and everything, but it's like, man, if this movie, not that it will or would, but if this movie made $1 million, I'm going back and paying thousands of dollars to all these actors because I just would want to do that. Not I would not be obligated to, but I would want to do that as
Yeah, that's venerable. Yeah. Same
yeah,
here. Same here. I mean, I'm giving everybody who's principal something on the back end. Everybody. You know what I mean? And as far as the crew goes, everybody that's on or above the line, I think above the line is getting something on the back end. So I mean, absolutely. Everybody's got to get paid. I mean, we're all a team, man. Nothing gets done without other people. We're all in this together. I know people say that all the time, but when you run your own projects, man, you realize the simple things mean everything. I mean, people getting out of bed in the morning early. Some people got
yeah.
on planes. Some people got on planes to come to my productions. I mean, man, it meant the world, bro. It meant the
Yeah,
world.
and I did that with and I'm in the process of planning my next movie right now,
Good.
and I'm doing the same thing where it's like, financially I can only pay so much, right?
Right.
Or the movie won't get made. But I want to make sure I protect them on the back end. And this next one, I'm this one could actually make money. I think. First one, I don't know. It's a drama. It's not, this next one.
Yeah.
I got high hopes for it. I got high hopes for the one that will be coming out soon. Dude, I'm not selling that movie short, anyone.
Good.
But with an indie drama, you're rolling the dice on.
Well, because drama costs so much more money usually. I mean, that's why comedy. Let me just say as a side note, from a technical production standpoint, I learned very early on. I mean, if you want to make money, if you want to, write something, produce something that's going to, get you notoriety, make you money, you definitely want to start with something like comedy if you can, because comedy is from a technical production standpoint is way less money, way
Yeah.
less money. I mean, it's comedy. The drug that people are tuning into is to laugh, right? So people don't really care if the production value is perfect, as long as the sound is good. Sound can't ever be forgiven, but so yeah, so that's I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I've been there with the sound issues. Uh
Don't want to mess with it, man. Yeah, dude. If you're gonna spend any money, man, dude, I would take a DP who only has a DSLR and an amazing soundy than the best DP in the world, with a red and no soundy, and we just put a condenser mic up on a tripod. You know what I mean? Like pay the money for the soundy if you can.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny how good, if you pay for the high end editing stuff nowadays, they can fix a lot of sound.
Oh yeah,
Because we were shooting scenes outside and the wind starts whipping up, and I'm like, I don't think we're gonna get audio out of this. The the guy, the director of the film who's editing the film, as well, he's like, I think we will. He's like, I played around with this editing software. We went back, watched it, and he was able to just hit a few buttons, and
right,
the
right,
wind's gone. And I'm like, okay,
right.
but yeah, it's crazy and I think that's probably a good reason for everyone who wants to make a film to be a part of some films ahead of time in some
Oh
way,
yeah,
shape, or form or another.
oh yeah.
Because my first film, it's like the audio is just atrocious.
Sure. As
And
was
then,
9 years
yeah,
ago, almost 10 years ago. As was well one of mine. Yeah, I mean it was. Yeah, you learn, you live, you learn.
yeah, and it is. It's hard to watch a movie when the you can't hear it, or
Right, right,
it goes like this as far as the volume.
right, right. I mean, really, honestly, man, in my opinion, sound and lighting are really the most important thing to me as far as technicals go. Because some people may disagree with me on this. I feel like this has been, as like a side note. I just want to say really quick. I feel like over the years now, I've heard filmmakers talk so much about resolution, 4K, 8K. This new camera is going to be able to shoot in 8K. It's like, to me, to be honest, as far as the technicals go, resolution is the last thing I think about. I'd be happy with 1080p.
Yeah,
If I know that the sound is amazing, the lighting is good, and there's no hot spots on anybody's head, you know, the mise en scene is there. The scene is dressed well, it looks great. Um, yeah, wardrobe, the performance, resolution is the last thing. I mean, some of these older films from the '90s, they look great, right? They're on film and they're really grainy. It's like the resolution isn't that amazing. I mean, it's probably like 1080p, but the sound is good, the color is good, the characters are good, the performance is good. Um, so anyway, I guess my point is, yeah, going back to the whole DSLR thing, I'll shoot anything on a DSLR, make it look good enough, as long as everything else is good. And sometimes when things are too sharp, when the resolution is too good, I see, on some of these newer smart TVs, man, I see some of these films that are shot digitally, and it looks almost cheap because the resolution is so clear. It almost looks like it was a camcorder shot in a garage. It's because just the way everything's moving. It doesn't really have that cinematic look that film used to have. And I think that you want to be careful, when you're when you're shooting on digital, make sure that, especially if you're doing drama, you want to make sure in post production everything is edited in such a way, in every way, that you kind of have the energy and the tone, as far as the coloring goes and the shadows go, the contrast and the lighting. Because if not, this high key, bright digital photography, it just, especially when you're doing a drama, it takes away from it. This might be going over some people's heads, and I might not be explaining it correctly, but yeah, the digital thing, you want to be careful with all that. I kind of got lost there, but
no, it is interesting. I've heard this and had this discussion with, even with my daughter, talking to her. But nowadays, the challenge with filmmaking is that people are either watching it on a giant, at least 55-inch TV, right? Or they're watching it on this.
yeah, right, right, right,
And
right.
it's about 50-50. So there's no like, my daughter, I asked her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, me and most of my friends watch movies and everything on our phone. We don't watch it." I'm like, "You have a
Yeah.
TV in your room. Why would you watch it on your phone?" I don't know. It's just easier.
Okay, I have just noted that, and I figured that might have been true, but okay, so she said that. Okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy to think about. I mean, I'm sure you probably were like me, where it's like you've got the 20 something inch TV when you're a kid, right?
Oh
And that's
yeah.
what everyone had was 32, 36. Now TVs are either gigantic
Yeah.
or it's a phone screen.
Right.
And there's
Yeah.
really nothing in between.
Right.
So, but yeah, I would guess. I mean, it's hard to figure whether you want to play to the TV or to the phone.
Right. Right. Yep. That's a great point. Actually, that's a great point. And also going back to another kind of not meaning to abruptly change the subject, but why it's I'm so excited that Cubestream is finally becoming an app now
Yeah.
because people will just be able to click right on that Cubestream app button and boom, they'll be on Cubestream. No, no punching in Cubestream.com. It's not 2001 anymore. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, very interesting about what I think you said your daughter said that about the phone. I was wondering if people were watching actual movies and shows on their phone. I was always wondering that because doesn't your wrist start to hurt as you're just holding it, just watching it like that, or your neck start to hurt? I would have thought you'd want to just lay down on a couch or a bed or chair, whatever, watch a TV. But
I refuse to watch things on even my laptop. It's
yeah,
probably I've had a TV this size probably at some point in my life, but
yeah.
no, I'll worst case I'll hook up HDMI cables to the TV and watch it
Right.
on the
I mean, I have a smart TV, in my bedroom. I just watch that,
where you
and
can cast it. Yeah, right.
yeah,
It's but yeah, I refuse to watch on anything small at this point, and
right.
but yeah, it is a thing. Um,
Good to know. Good to know. Okay.
yeah, so when you do have the app, that will definitely be will
Uh,
help with the younger audience.
right. Yeah. No, I can't wait. I can't wait till this thing is an app. That will be the sky will be the limit at that point because then it'll be accessible all over the world.
I feel like and obviously I'm asking you this, so correct me if any of this is wrong. So I have started to learn a lot more about distribution since obviously I made a movie
Hmm.
and started to learn a little more. Like I was I don't think I'm sharing anything out of school here, or I'll try to make sure I avoid doing that.
Right.
But I was in Haunted Happy Hour. I was the second lead, playing a bartender. Uh, brewmaster, I guess, would maybe be. But anyways, I'm in a feature film,
Okay.
and they used Film Hub for distribution, which is I know that's not a secret because I was able to see it on
Right.
Amazon or something.
Right.
So
Right. Right. Right.
so I'm not sharing any secret information. But I also know with Film Hub, you submit it after quality control, whatever. They won't even tell you when it starts going on streamers. They do not even tell you. You actually have to check your hub. So it's not that it's hidden from you. It's just that if you don't check, you won't actually know. Apparently, um, so in a certain amount of days that they don't tell you, it usually goes up on Prime first, and it's usually to rent or buy, and that's usually the first thing it goes up on.
Mm.
But you have no, and again, this is just from an indie film going directly through, and this is probably in the weeds for some people, but you have no control over where it goes. It's one of the things that I'm sure you get people asking you all the time. I get people as an actor, and I'm gonna blow my head off when the last ride my movie comes out with people asking me, where can I see it, where can I see it? I don't know. When can I see it? I don't know.
Right. Right.
So when we were talking last week or whatever, it popped into my head. I'm like, see, now, so correct me if I'm wrong, does Cubestream have any exclusivity clause with filmmakers, or can filmmakers just put
Yeah. Yeah. No.
so
I'm sorry. What were we gonna say? Sorry.
well, it was, yeah, so that to me, I'm like, okay, so I get it. You could go through Film Hub because that way you hope you get on Freevee and you hope you get on Tubi and whatever else, but you have no control. And if it's just the first thing it goes on is Prime and it's just buy or rent, well, so again, correct me if I'm wrong. And I know that Cubestream doesn't have an app, but if you put it on Cubestream, you can control the day it's released, so you know
Everything.
when to start advertising, right?
Everything. You control everything. That's the point
Yeah,
of it. Yeah.
right. So it's like, I feel like that's okay, fine. Submit it to Film Hub, and in 3 months to a year, you'll have it on random things. And I know another movie I was in just got added to Fubo, and I know they're through Film Hub also. So like
Right.
it will continue to add and go on new places for years to come, presumably, which is fine. But you also could control when. So part of what I'm and part of the rationale to this is I've been stressing over I'm going to be going on podcasts as a guest to try to promote my movie when it comes out. And it's like, but if we just put it through Film Hub, I'm going to have no fucking idea when it comes
Right, 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 right,
out.
right, right.
So like I
Right.
so to in my head, I'm like, well, it seems like an obvious thing that filmmakers should be considering is like, all right, if you want to rent it, go to Cubestream. You can get it today, and otherwise, it'll be out on other things. And just stay tuned. But you can pay a few bucks and watch it today if you want to.
Right, right. So which is just one of the reasons why I believe in Cubestream so much is when I first understood what it was all about, I wanted to get on board because I believe in it so much. It is all about giving the filmmaker pure freedom, pure freedom. Cut out the middleman. Freedom to do everything that you need to do. I tell people it's like YouTube and Netflix mixed, right? So it is a platform that is all about movies, shows, and docs, anything you would see on Netflix, right? And that's it. But it's all about independent people who produce these things, right? People who want to throw it up there and charge what they want for it, keep the majority of what they make. um, as far as paying residuals, they're in control of that, choosing how much they want to pay their people on the back end, via means of residuals. Also, it's one other thing I was going to say about that. There's like three things I want to say about all that. Now, when you upload it to Cubestream, though, you have full control. Oh yeah, that's another thing I was going to say. There's no exclusivity. Cubestream is a library that is all about allowing the filmmaker to upload their stuff, and they have full ownership of it. They can take it down when they want, re-upload it when they want. They can charge as much as they want. you know, you would just want to be mindful of other platforms that are exclusive that might get angry that you posted it to Cubestream. You don't want to step on any other streaming platforms' toes if you have some sort of an exclusive contract. But as far as Cubestream goes, they will never own your stuff. They will never, try to control you or your content ever. The only time there'll be contracts and exclusivity is when we start um, sponsoring filmmakers and building kind of like a Cubestream studio slash team.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of like the old studio system of the 30s and 40s, and I think it was the 50s in Hollywood was like, so you would sign a contract, actor, actress, whatever, what behind the camera, in front of the camera, whatever you are, a gaffer, a DP, an actor, a director, writer, whatever. If you want, you can sign a contract with Cubestream once we have, Cubestream Studios, which will be soon, and you can sign a whatever the contract is, year contract, 2-year contract as an actor to only act in Cubestream original content if you so choose. And but that's if you so choose. That'll be the Cubestream Studios team, right? And then Cubestream itself will continue to have the feature, which it was originally intended for anybody to just throw their stuff up there. And you know what I mean? So it's like there's that, but then like I just said, we also want to sponsor filmmakers we believe in, or filmmakers that we want to join our team, and we'll give them offers. It's like a baseball team. You sign 3 years with the Red Sox, for this amount of money, and you only play for the Red Sox. So, as the union system of Hollywood goes out, because it's just not secure anymore, because the economy is not secure anymore. It's
Yeah.
just probably one of the reasons why. We're starting to see the studio system come back. That's I read my CEO's white paper, and you know talked all about that, and we're starting to see that come back now. And so I think Cubestream will be one of the first entities to studios to kind of start doing that again. And which is why I have chose to just devote all my efforts to Cubestream right now. I mean, if somebody came along and was like, "You were great, I want to cast you in my short," I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I'm not under contract with Cubestream right now. However, I do work for them. I choose to work with them. It's voluntary, and I mean, it's always voluntary, but you know what I mean. I'm not under contract, and I just put all my efforts towards Cubestream because I believe in it. So now, one more thing I want to say: when you upload your stuff to Cubestream, though, I mean it still is on the filmmaker to advertise. You know,
Right.
I mean, once the Cubestream app really gets going, we're going to develop some sort of an honest and simple algorithm that allows the movies and shows and docs that are doing well as a result of the honest 5-star, 4 and 5 star reviews of the viewers and the positive reviews of the viewers. We'll have an honest admin team that'll review it all. The intellectual property that's doing well is just going to get put at the top of the carousel that you see every time you log into the app, and you're going to see it because people who do well should get advertised more. That's it. It's very simple. And the judge will be the people that are on there that have accounts that like what they're seeing. If they see Jeff's, rideshare movie and it's doing really well, it'll get put to the top of the list. And the movies that don't do well will fade away. And those filmmakers will just have to improve and get better, like anything. Um, so there'll be that feature, but then and of course, Cubestream Studios will advertise its own stuff,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
And then there are filmmakers who are just getting started who get their stuff up there. It's on them to advertise in any way they want. Billboards, social media advertising, right? So, but yeah, it's all about just Cubestream is trying to keep it simple and make this free kind of free market, if you will, free market. What's it called? Free motion picture entertainment free market on Cubestream, where everyone can kind of work together and figure it out on their own, make their money, buy and trade the way they want. When we get crypto on there, we want to make the consumer process more flexible. If you want to do, let's say, a preview of Dirty Roomies, but you don't want to buy an episode for $1.59, you can pay 20 cents of Bitcoin for a quick 30-second preview, right? It's just a little way to make it more flexible, help the filmmaker make money, but also give the consumer options. That's what it's all about, the free market. So.
Yeah, no, I like it, and it is crazy how, uh, I never would have guessed a year ago, whatever timeline, that it was that as a filmmaker, an indie filmmaker, how little control you have over, unless you want to throw it on your own YouTube page.
Right.
You really don't have control over where it goes. Well, unless you use Cubestream, kind of solves a lot of that problem. But yeah, no, it's and it's important to know too, because I also shot a season of a TV show I could. Well, no, I might as well advertise this on my
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
I shot the Dads and Drinks show season 2. Now, Dads and Drinks show first season was basically a podcast, but season 2 was let's say a very, very low budget, like, man show knockoff. So we have myself and my co-host. We have a sketch in every episode. We have man on the street stuff. We have actually paid Doug Stanhope, my favorite comedian, who actually was the host of the Man Show after Adam and Jimmy left. Doug Stanhope and Joe Rogan were the host for one season.
Yeah.
So he actually is in every episode remotely as well.
Wow.
So put way more money than I should have into this, but I didn't like the way that season 1 went, and I really was like, I want the Man Show vibe.
Yeah.
We don't have girls jumping on trampolines. We didn't have the budget for that, but
Dude,
but
you've been busy, man. That's great.
yeah, I feel like that's the key to this is just keep plugging away, right?
Consistence is one of the most important things. You just can't stop. You got to keep going. Yeah. I don't even want to tell everybody how long I've been doing this. I don't even want to say it, but a long time. And it's just starting to happen now. People think, if unless they know somebody who's wildly popular and wealthy and powerful and rich and wealthy, if you're a random person coming into this, just know that it's probably not going to happen within a few years.
Right.
You need to be in this for the long run. the long run, and you need to have a plan. And if your plan doesn't work, you need to adapt and make a new plan. And it's all how much you want it, And I know some people, battle with, well, what should I do? Should I start a family and do this, or should I devote my life to this? And a long time ago, I was at that crossroads and I chose this, and I'm so glad I did, So you got to be in it really for life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing you come to the realization of is if you're making your own content, right? It takes a while. The more stuff you put out, like the last ride, I'm just throwing it out. That movie might just cost me money, and 5 years from now, for whatever reason, people might want to watch it. And 5 years from now, oh wow, I just made my money back on this movie that I had given up on. And I won't have given up on it, but I understand that's the way the business works. Is it's like if the goal is to make your money back from what you put into it, just say that's your goal. The goal is obviously to make money, but if it's just to make your money back so you break even, it's not like that's the day I put this movie out to the public, I'm going to get my money back.
Right.
It's going to be years before I get my money back. So getting that stuff done and getting it out, I'm like, that's kind of my, flood the market. See what,
Yeah.
throw shit at the fan and see what sticks
Right.
or whatever
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
saying is.
Yeah. Yeah. And, that's another reason why I believe in Cubestream so much is because I love how it wants to sponsor filmmakers that are good at what they do, and help them rise and help empower indie film, make sure that, we got more independent people producing art and making money from it, we want to bring back that indie art house 90s-esque kind of stuff, and put our own spin on it, so that's, yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, it seems uh I had high hopes for well, I'll just say it, for Tubi. They, back when they first came on my radar, were a ton of independent films getting on there. And it was ad supported, like YouTube basically. You play ads in the middle of the movies, and that's how they made revenue. But they've really shifted. They take, someone sent me the info. They take a shockingly low amount of indie films right now. They really, if you go through Tubi, it's big budget studio movies that are now on there, and it's like, oh. So
Yeah.
yes, having a bastion for indie film is so important, and yeah, they seem to be taken over quickly when they exist.
I always say, I've been saying this for a while. The only thing more complex than filmmaking is brain surgery. Filmmaking is difficult, to say the least. I mean, I can't even understate that's an understatement. It's very very difficult, and there's just so much that goes into it. And I think that there are a lot of filmmakers out there that do have the knowledge and do have the talent and the vision, but they just lack the funds because it's so stinking expensive. And like I said, going back to what I said earlier, if we could if we could sponsor some great filmmakers with potential, you know, that'd be great for the indie film movement, and it could get some art out to the world that never would have gotten there simply because of the gatekeeper we know of as money,
Yeah,
and so if we can eliminate that to a degree, and yeah, and sponsor some great filmmakers that deserve a shot, they can do it. I mean, I'll tell you right now. I mean, if I had, you know, $10 million, at the right now, I know exactly what I'd do with it, and I will soon. But so there are other filmmakers out there that just need that funding, and
yeah,
you know, so I mean, they need to prove themselves first. I always need to see what they've done, hear them talk, and then I can tell, if they have potential. But yeah, so yeah, man. Um, it's that's probably why maybe Tubi decided to take on these big studio productions and not put more indie film on there, is because the studios have all the money in the world, and they're able to make their stuff look good, and a lot of these, indie filmmakers, whether they're good or not, just don't have the funds to make it look great. So they might as well say, well, we need content that's going to look good and going to make us money. So, but if we get some indie filmmakers funded that are good, we can make movies just as good as any big studio, So
Yeah, it's sad. I even talking to family members about things, and one of the things I've heard mentioned by a family member was like, "Yeah, there's never any like recognizable music or stuff," and I'm like, "That's because you can't afford it."
right,
Like,
right,
yeah, there are bells and whistles that, yeah, throwing money at the problem could, like as you said, if I had $10 million, would The Last Ride is the name of the movie I that will be coming out relatively soon. Uh, and I think the budget right now, and it'll probably inflate a little, is around 25,000, which is a shoestring budget for a feature film.
oh yeah, it's nothing.
But if I had $100,000 in it, I don't think it would have been a better movie. I just would have paid people more. Like the movie
Oh, interesting.
itself.
Okay.
Now, if I had $5 million, the
Right.
movie would be substantially different.
But just don't forget, advertising is huge. Is a huge
Yeah,
the puzzle that most people also cannot afford. So,
yeah,
I mean, the amount of money that's put into advertising for these big studio films and shows. I mean, I lived in Los Angeles. I mean, it's crazy. A massive amount of the budget goes towards advertising. For who knows how long after the film is in the can. I mean, so all that money, yeah, pay people more, but also put some aside. You'd want to put some aside for advertising. I
right.
mean, so that's another big one too. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and little things like instead of shooting this movie in what 15, 16 days, maybe it would have taken a month, you know.
Yeah, take your time,
You
bro.
can
Yeah.
you can pay for longer hotel stays and stuff like that.
Right, right.
Don't work 12-hour days, work 8-hour days maybe.
I would agree. Yeah, which is why I might extend my shoot later on this year to like a three day shoot, or a 4 day shoot, instead of just two 12-hour days, extend it to three 10-hour, three 8-hour days, whatever. So
I did the greatest thing I did in filming. Now we shot this November, by the way, which was like 2 weeks after
hurricane, crazy
yeah, the
hurricane.
hurricane hit. So two things I'm proud of. One is I said we're not delaying anything. We're filming this damn movie. We're not pushing it back because anything that gets postponed doesn't get done in my
Right.
in
Yeah.
my eyes. The other thing was way before the hurricanes, I told the my producer and director, I said, "Look, we're shooting this during football season. I don't work while the Saints play, so we're taking November 3rd and November 10th completely off. The 10th is also my son's birthday, but but having those two built-in days off, even just one day a week, was so refreshing. Of just like, oh, I just sit at home, watch football, hang out with my kids. I'm not filming a movie today.
Right. Yeah, dude, you got to take care of your mind, man, and that's another thing, man. You got to be so careful not to spread yourself too thin, because this stuff is complicated. It's a lot of work. It's also a lot of work mentally. You got to remember 85 things, and which is why I will never work the same way again, the way that I did on season two. You remember when you were on set, um, what I did that day. I don't know how much that cost. Maybe $3,000 just for that day for everything, right? And 2,500, something like that, and just for one day. And I was doing a shoot or two like that every 2 months, sometimes every month. And I did that for a year to bang out 9, 10 minute episodes.
Mm.
And I was working a side job to support it as well. I'm not doing that again. I did what I had to do, but I'm not. And I had a lot of experience up to that point in my life, so I was able to do it. And I knew what I was doing. I knew what corners to cut and which corners not to cut. But I'll never do that again, ever. And you got to be so careful when you're on set. Everything should be done in pre-production first. So when you get to set, everything just takes care of itself. The first AD knows what he's doing. The DP knows what they're doing. You know, uh, the lighting department knows what they're doing. Everybody knows what they're doing. and it all just happens, and you should just be relaxed, and it should all just take care of itself at that point. So yeah, you got to give yourself breaks. That's called wisdom. You know what I mean? Give yourself breaks and take your time. My production buddy a couple weeks ago, who will be playing Reggie Carlisle, who I've known for 11 years now, I met him in LA way back in the day. Reggie Carlisle is the big music producer who's going to be throwing this house party that we're shooting later on this year. And, you know, the main character meets him and is starstruck and all this sort of thing. My buddy, his name is Ronell in real life. My buddy Ronell was telling me, he was like, bro, just take your time. Don't cut corners and do not produce beyond your budget, beyond your means. Don't, you know. This originally started as a club scene with like 150 people in all,
Wow.
extras and principal cast. Yeah, I thought we'd be making more money at this point, so I thought I could afford it, but it's all good, you know. So I brought it down to a big house party scene. Then I was like, yeah, that still is a little bit outside the budget. Brought me up to like $35,000 rough budget. So I was like, I brought it down to like 25,000 for the GoFundMe, and I think I can do like a smaller house party scene, which is all I need. So it's like you got to modify sometimes. Do not write outside your budget. So yeah, I got to
Yeah.
be careful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's key. Locations, actors,
Yeah.
those people don't think when they write. I mean, I've got a dozen files on my computer of these things I started writing, and when I started actually thinking about, you know, making my own films out of these things, it's like, well, I can't do that. Can't do that. That would cost $100 million to make.
Someday you will. Someday you will. You know what I mean? If you stick with it. You know?
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah. I'm not getting rid of this stuff. I just prioritize stuff that, you know, like the next movie I plan to make entirely inside of a house.
yeah, that's a great realistic goal. I love that. Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Just find the right house. That'll cost some money to rent that for a month or whatever, and
yeah.
then it would be better if I had written it to fit in my house and just filmed here every day, maybe. Although that might blur the lines between. I don't know if that would go well.
Hmm.
I'd go to sleep basically on set and then wake up
Oh, I
every day on
see.
like if it was in my actual house.
I was gonna say because I mean, if you always want, I've been telling filmmakers lately, you know, on my TikTok lives, take inventory of what you already have, you know, what you don't need to spend money on. I mean, like a house, you know, like for instance, you know, instead of paying any money to an audio engineer or to some composer or whatever, I beatbox the score to my whole show. I just I just beatbox the whole thing. It's some stupid skill I've always had ever since I was a kid. Just I've been able to freakishly beatbox. I don't know why. I don't know how. To be honest, I'm not proud of it. I don't think it's like that sexy of a skill, but it's kind of goofy in my opinion. But bro, I never who would have thought that this weird goofy skill would come in handy and save me thousands of dollars. So I just beatbox the score to my whole sketch comedy, and it's a comedy, so a goofy beatboxing goes well. And then you know, so you know what I mean. So for instance, like you, I mean, maybe you don't want to be opposed to it. I understand the whole mental aspect of it, going to bed on set. But I mean, if you could, you're a filmmaker. You are. You're the real deal. You know, I know you've done work, so you know, don't maybe you don't want to be opposed to filming something in your house someday. I mean, you could save some serious money. What do you got? Like a 3 bedroom house?
Yeah, yeah, and I had actually in the last ride I did shoot scenes inside my house, but it was just I was the only actor in those scenes.
Bro, you have more than you know. That is, if you don't mind me asking, what's the square footage?
You know, I don't honestly know
You don't
because
know.
there's
You just
been
have a living room? Do you have like a fairly large living room?
a decent size.
Bro, you could do so much at your place. I'm telling you right now, you could do so much. Maybe we'll film at your place one day. I could throw you a bone. We could I could you know easy way to make money. I mean, who knows? You know, I mean, maybe we could
Yeah,
do something together. You know, I mean, yeah. Oh man, if you have a house, oh, you could do
yeah.
so much.
It's a yeah. You know why I don't know the square footage because it's got
Yeah.
so many add-on rooms to the
Oh,
original
that's
house,
bro, that's amazing. You
and
could
that actually. So the rooms kind of look a little different. So
Bro, I
yeah,
mean, there's so much you could do with that. There's so much you could do with that. You know, I thought about buying a massive house a couple of years ago, living in it, of course, and then just filming out of it all the time. But now, you know, of course, you know, now, you know, production is everything is bigger now as far as the budgets and money about to come in. So Cubestream is about to become a full-fledged studio. So I'll probably just buy land and build a studio. But I mean, yeah, I always tell people, take inventory of what you got. You know, if you own 3 cars, you could use that for something. You know, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that people have that they don't always think about. So that's kind of cool, bro. That's
Yeah.
kinda,
Yeah. You using what you've got is
yeah.
key to affordable filmmaking.
Yes, 100 and it could be a way to make money too by letting other people film there. You know, I mean, that's some people aren't into that because it's your house, you know. But yeah, so very good.
Awesome. Well, Bobby, I will let you go, but not until you tell people, and all these links will be in the show
Yeah,
notes, folks, but
yeah,
where people should go to find you. Obviously, you've got the GoFundMe. Obviously, there's Cubestream. Any other links, social medias that people should seek you out on?
yeah. So I am very active on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. I mean, I have a Facebook account, you know, Bobby Burrelli. And then my Instagram is just at Bobby Burrelli, you know, all one word, and TikTok is at Bobby.Burrelli. So that's it. I do lives every day, like 3 o'clock on TikTok. And yeah, the GoFundMe links are in Instagram, TikTok bios, and Facebook bios too. So super easy. It's been TikTok. I mean, GoFundMe's been hugely easy so to use. So it's great. Yeah.
Excellent.
So
That's good to know too.
yeah. Oh, one more thing I'll say. All money donated to it is going to go into. We have an incentive program. So I got T-shirts and stickers coming in for people who donate $20. You get a sticker pack, $50. You get a T-shirt, Dirty Roomies T-shirt, $100. You get an autographed script with your name in the credits. If you want to donate $350, you get to come on set and be an extra. Keep in mind, if you keep donating certain amounts of money, it goes up. If you want a speaking role, it's like, you know, if you donate $1,000, you get a speaking role with a credit. And you'll get paid. So it's like if you want to donate $350 to be an extra and come on a set for the first time, you'll also be fed and you'll also be paid. So you're getting some of that money back anyway. You know, it's just to get us to that $25,000 goal to bang out this massive party scene. So it's kind of a fun opportunity. I cannot wait to get the stickers and the T-shirts. I'm actually really excited for that. So,
Nice.
so
Nice.
that's
Well,
it. That's all I got.
all right, everyone, check it out. Links are in the show notes. Bobby, I'm sure you'll come back on again before too long, but thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, man. This has been a huge help for me. So thank you, brother. Take care, guys. We'll see you soon.